Okay, let's continue on to part 2 of paid search, and here we're going to talk about keyword and targeting options. So again, once you select your keywords and organize them, you next have to decide on the matching options. So the matching options you have are broad, phrase, exact, and then you also have a negative feature as well, which I will talk through. So broad matching is a default option. So if you don't specify anything, it's going to be broad match. So if your keyword is tennis shoes, your ad is going to appear if either or both of those words show up in any order, doesn't matter, with anything else there, singular, plural, synonyms included. So tennis shoes would trigger it, buy tennis shoes would trigger it, tennis shoe photos, running shoes would trigger it, tennis sneakers would trigger it, and even tennis and even shoes would trigger it. May not be ideal. It could cause you guys problems. If you don't want that, then you might want to consider what's called a broad modifier. And I do provide you with a video so you can understand that in a little more detail. Again, if you do phrase matching, again, tennis and shoes in quotes has to be together. Anything can be before it, anything can be after it, but tennis and shoes with an S at the end of shoe has to be there. So red tennis shoes, buy tennis shoes photo would all trigger. Shoes for tennis, tennis shoe, tennis sneakers would not trigger it. Exact is exactly what it is. Nothing will trigger it unless it's exactly the keywords that you have specified. So again, this is going to greatly limit your traffic, and you will have to spend a lot of time to think through all the exact phrases to make sure you've got the search queries covered that you want covered. But this might be a good option if you are promoting, let's say, a movie, for example, and you only want the ad to show if they type in the exact movie title. So let's pretend like, again, you sell tennis shoes, but you notice some people are also doing search queries on used tennis shoes for whatever reason. And if somebody would type in used tennis shoes is broad matched, and let's say tennis shoes is your keyword, and you're doing it as broad matched, and somebody types in used tennis shoes. Let's make it a little more realistic. Red tennis shoes. Let's pretend we sell every type of tennis shoe except red. So if you do tennis shoes as broad and somebody types in red tennis shoes, your ad's going to show, they might click, and it's going to cost you. So what you might want to do is say, oh, okay, so let's use red as a negative, which means if red is in the search query, then I'm going to back the ad back out. So that is how you create your negative keyword list. So usually if you're doing a negative keyword list, it's with the broad matching option. For more on matching, I've got an 8-minute video, which I'd like for you to watch so you fully understand it. So I'm going to make sure you don't miss any questions on your quiz or your exams. This is just a nice summary of broad versus exact. Exact, you know exactly what the user searched on. You don't have to update the negative keyword list, but you do miss out on relevant variations. So you have to really think it all through to know exactly what are all the variations you want, and it's going to generate less traffic. Broad with negatives will allow more. You don't have to think of every relevant variation. You do have to keep the negative keyword list up to date, but I think that's certainly easier than thinking of every relevant variation for sure. On Google, when you go into and start with your AdWords, again, you can target your ads by language and location. You can also identify the user's IP address to pinpoint general physical location. You can also daypart. So again, you can have your ads triggered only at certain times a day, days a week. You could also change your pricing, how much you're willing to pay by time of day and day of week. Here's a great little example of why you might want to daypart. So this is a Match.com conversion report. Again, don't know exactly where I got it, don't remember, but on your right-hand axis there, we are looking at the conversion rate, and on the x-axis, we are looking at the hour of the day, and the color of the line represents the day of the week. So if you take a close look at this, you notice green represents Monday, so we can see Monday late at night has the highest conversion rate. So kind of interesting, I think. I'm going to ask you to think about it a little bit. Match.com, Monday night, highest conversion rate. Does that make sense to you? kind of interesting, think it through. Google network placement. When you sign up for AdWords, your results will show on the Google search results page. Don't have a choice. You can opt in to the search network, which is AOL, YouTube, and the other Google properties. I suggest you test it, you try it. If the conversions aren't looking good, turn it off. And you can also opt into the display network. Now, display network is contextual. So again, not going to be triggered based on search queries. Here, your ad will show up on people's blogs and other websites that are looking to try to make money by having these ads show up on them. So a lot of bloggers make money by basically joining AdSense. And again, they'll have the display ads kind of show up there. And every time somebody clicks, they'll get a little bit of money from Google. So this is all contextual. So if you are doing a paid search campaign and you're selling cookies, again, they will most likely only have your ad showing up on cooking and food websites. They're not going to have your ad populate on a website dealing with cars or automobiles. So it's totally contextual. Again, you're going to get a lot of volume here, a lot of impressions. So it might be worth testing, and it might make sense to give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, turn it off. But definitely going to give you the volume that you might want. Here's just a little bit more on the display network. So when you go in to your Google AdWords account, you're going to be asked to create that ad, headline, 2 lines of text, display, and destination URL. The ad is going to be really critical here. Keep in mind, you don't have a lot of space there, right? You had 25 characters for the headline, 35 characters for lines 2 and 3. You want a good call to action, call to immediacy, keep it simple, and have a good destination URL. And I've got a nice little video there, 4 or 5 minutes, on writing effective ads for Google AdWords. Again, you will then also use that Google keyword suggestion tool that I showed you earlier to help you select keywords that are going to trigger your ads. So you'll type in some that you think you want to use. Google will then spin off and show you other related words that other people search for. Again, as I said, it will give you information about how competitive it is, the pricing and the search volume to help you decide if you want to include that in your campaign or not. Here is another little video I'll let you watch on your own, please, of what it's like to go in and set up your Google AdWords account. There's a starter edition and there's a standard edition. So a starter edition might be for, let's say, a pizzeria that is a little reluctant and kind of shying away from, ooh, I don't know how bidding works, and that scares me. So what will happen for the pizzeria is you just kind of basically go in, and Google will even give you a free website for a small business. So Google will help you set up a little free website, not overly extensive. You pick a few keywords, you set a budget. You don't have to worry about monitoring it. Google will just start showing your ad out there and then for the various keywords that you selected, and they'll take it from there. Now, if things start turning successful and you're doing good, then you'll want to move to the standard edition, which is everything we've been talking about. This is just a graphic showing the Google account schematic. I created this a while back. Keep it up to date. It's just a nice way to understand how the accounts are set up. So when you come in and set up your account, keep in mind they are language, country specific. You can't have multiple currencies within an account either. Under your account, you could be running up to 10,000 different campaigns. So keep in mind, this is great for agencies. Under a campaign, you could have up to 20,000 ad groups per campaign. Within an ad group, basically what we're talking about are up to 50 different image or text ads and up to 20,000 keywords per ad group. Okay, so makes it really effective to manage a lot of different campaigns and clients. When you look at your paid search reports in Google AdWords, I've got an example of one here from when I was running a campaign for Rhonda a few years back. You can see here I'm looking at the September 2012 campaign, and I've got various ad groups: attrition, CRM, database, email, KPI, LTV, social. So each of those ad groups were dealing with ads and keywords specific to customer attention, specific to customer databases, specific to helping you calculate lifetime value. So the reason I did that is, again, I wanted to get higher quality scores for those ads. So I wanted the ad to be talking about attrition, the keywords to be dealing with attrition, and the landing page to put them on a page talking about modeling customer attrition. So those were the ad groups under my September 2012 campaign, if that helps you understand it. And then again, you can see I was setting my max CPC there, showing me how many clicks I had for the time period, what the impressions were, how many times the ad was shown, what the click-through rate was, what my average position was. Again, 4.2, 3.2, so definitely above the fold for both of those, etc. And then if I click on, let's say, the CRM ad group, and sorry, this is not a very good screenshot here, then as you can see at the bottom there, it's listed, showing the ad for that. So right there, database consultants, www.drakedirect.com, CRM strategy, customer relationship management. And then it's listing at the bottom there the keyword list. Unfortunately, it's only showing one of them, but there were probably about 10 or 12. So that first one was probably customer relationship marketing, modeling or something along those lines. So I had a bunch of different keywords that would have been listed out there, and then you can see it showing the impression count as well and how many clicks, etc. So that's how the campaign reporting looks. The other thing I want to make you guys aware of is there is a lot of click fraud that goes on. There's going to be some inconsistencies in your results. So if you're looking at the number of people who clicked on your ads on your Google AdWords account and the number of people who came into your website through AdWords on your Google Analytics account, the numbers are not going to match. Okay, the main reason is because roughly probably about 20% of the clicks on Google AdWords are fraudulent, done by robots, and basically they're fraud. And so therefore Google does back those off and does not charge you, so they reimburse you that money. So therefore you never actually see those. So when you're looking at those 100 clicks, you can bet it was probably really closer to 120 that Google backed them off and are not showing those to you because they determined they were fraudulent. And Google, I think there was an article I saw last year where Google says they can identify roughly about 99.8% of the fraudulent clicks. Now, on your Google Analytics account, when you're going in and looking at all the traffic coming to your website, remember that has nothing to do with your AdWords. So that's just telling you how many people are coming to your site, regardless of whether they were real or not real. So all of those fraudulent clicks are going to show as triggering basically a call for your website to load up. So therefore you are going to see the 120 coming in through the source of Google AdWords or your paid search campaign. So keep in mind that those metrics are never going to match up. Another interesting thing is, again, attribution. So I want you to understand a couple of cool things that Google is doing for you to help you better understand the value of advertising on Google. So let's take a look at view through conversion reporting on the Google Content Network. So here's an example of how it works. Let's say you're selling pet food online and you're measuring conversions on your site's email newsletter sign up and your shopping cart thank you page. So you basically tagged two things as a conversion. If somebody signs up for a newsletter, bing, it's a conversion. If somebody presses the submit button on the ordering page and a thank you page comes up, boom, I got a conversion. Okay, so let's pretend like a user sees your display ad, does not click on it, but then notes the site and kind of remembers it in their head. They come back to your site within the next 30 days and they do sign up to receive your email and they do buy some cat food. You're going to actually see two view through conversions reporting on your campaigns tab in AdWords. So what Google wants to let you know is even though you didn't get a direct sale from them clicking on the display ad, they were exposed to it. They did see it. So they just want you to know that. And that's really important, right? Because again, you might decide, oh, you know what, I'm not getting any conversions on the display ad, but you know what? If you turn it off, then you might be losing a lot of conversions because just the fact that somebody was exposed to it was doing a good thing. So that's actually a great reporting feature. The other thing that I want to make you aware of is the AdWords search funnel, again, to help you think things through. So again, how they're playing it out here is, let's pretend like there was a keyword that you typed in. Again, you click through, you came to the site and you didn't convert. And then later you kind of remembered how you searched, but you searched a little bit different. And you saw that website again. You said, oh, okay, yeah. So let's click through. And this time you do convert. Who do you want to get credit for that conversion? Is it the term that first brought you to the website, or is it the term that later brought you to the website that you converted on? So if you want it to be associated with that first touch or the first keyword, then basically what Google will do is, with the no override feature, they will help you associate the conversion with that first search term. So again, just trying to really get you to understand exactly how somebody's coming in and converting on what keyword or keywords, basically. So kind of cool. Again, fraud, as I said before, is kind of big. It does appear as of 2013 it was down to about 12%, but it's been as high as 23, 24, 25%. On Facebook, it could even be higher. Some have claimed 40%. I did a campaign on Facebook a couple years ago for my direct marketing certification, for my digital marketing certification program, and I wagered it was close to about 75% because I could actually see the discrepancies of people coming through again on Google Analytics versus the clicks I was paying for on Facebook. Now again, unlike Google, Facebook does not reimburse for fraudulent clicks. It's just a part of doing business. So some people freak out about that. But you know what? Look, at the end of the day, if a P&L's out and it's profitable for me, I will advertise on Facebook. So it's just that the price per click is a little more expensive for me because I know a lot of them are fraudulent clicks. Here's the latest click fraud report that you guys can take a look at. I've got the link right there for you. And actually, Adometry was just purchased by Google in August. How do you detect click fraud, or what is Google looking at? Well, again, they're looking at a couple things. If clicks are coming from the same IP address over and over again, we know we've got a problem. If you're noticing a decline in conversions and keyword performance is deteriorating for certain keywords and it used to be good, probably there's a lot of click fraud going on then. If you got a lot of site visitors coming and leaving quickly or bounce rates going up, probably a sign of click fraud. Again, clicks coming from countries outside of your domain, again, there's probably an issue with click fraud.